Oh, hello viewers. So, today we're basically doing an FIA sanctioned meme race around Route X. This is an amazing combination. As you can see, I am in a 230 point lobby, which is pretty high up for where I am. But, yeah, so as you can see there, this guy is commenting asking if we're all good bump drafting. So, I just have to reply that, yeah, we are, because I just need a bump drafting buddy, because that's key for these kind of races around an oval. So as I take a painfully long time to type this out because I have to use my D-pad on my Logitech G27. But anyways, this is the meme race of the season. No tire wear, no fuel wear, no penalties, essentially. You can get disqualified still. But anyways, we move on to qualifying, and even though qualifying isn't super critical given how this race works, I still wanted to not be in front because I want some drafting, so I waited a little bit before I started giving it gas. And for some reason the game decides to keep me in my pit box for an insanely long time and then releases me right in front of someone else rather than that huge gap I had earlier. But anyways, we roll on, continue, and sure enough, the guy commenting before is coming up behind me and gives me a little bump draft. However, we do need at least like 3 people to bump draft effectively. That's what I've seen online, and luckily enough, another person behind him catches up, and now we have a little nice bump draft train going. But we have to go ahead and go around the entire Route X circuit. Now we've caught up to another person, and I decide I want to add them to our little train here. So I slow down so I don't completely murder them off the track. But that kind of threw off the guy behind me, and unfortunately we started forming two-person trains instead of one 4-person train. Luckily though, as we got closer to the beginning, we settled down to a 4-person train, so that was pretty good. So we kind of settled in, just kind of bump drafting as we passed this guy, just doing donuts at the start-finish line because, you know, qualifying isn't super important for this. But anyways, we crossed the line, and I end up the best out of that entire group of 4 of us. So I qualify, well, actually I'm second best. Qualify 5th, but then that immediately goes down to 10th as another little train comes by, and I keep 10th as qualifying ends. So, meme racing. Let's get started. So, I've decided that I'm going to start making these commentated videos from some of the full videos I've been making. I decided I'll start with this one since this one's pretty simple and easy. Not too much editing needed. It's also a short race, so I don't need to chop up the video too much. So I'm just going to show you the whole race here. So yeah, if you want to give me any feedback on how the videos are, editing style, commentary style, anything like that, just feel free to leave a comment down below. But anyways, we're starting to settle into this race here, and we're just getting to the drafting train. As you can see, pretty much everyone has chosen the 458 Italia, as that is the meta car for this race, even though PD could have made them a little more balanced since they made custom gearing for them, but the 458 Italia was meta in the top speed, especially under drafting, so we're all just basically doing a one-make race. There is one guy in a Wira, though, that you'll see later. But anyways, we're coming into the downhill section. For some reason, they built a giant bridge. I guess it's to let chips through and all that for this fictional track design, which is really interesting. Apparently in Gran Turismo 7 they've placed this somewhere near Utah, I believe, so like by the Salt Lake, which would be an interesting location. But anyways, we are approaching the first corner, and I did not want any part of this group up ahead. Even though, so as you can see there, I kind of lift off. I turn on my turn signal to actually indicate I'm going to the inside, because I can just feel that something was going to happen. Like, you see that many drivers, and even though this isn't like a low rated lobby, this is still like a high A rated lobby with A+ drivers. This many cars this close online, you know something's bound to happen. And as you can see there, some sparks are flying as people are going up there, and then sure enough, there's a little movement, a little twitching, and here we go. Here's the big one, and everyone just gets collected there in front of me, and I go and I jump up into first place because I was just keeping a cautious distance behind. And we're going to look back there, and you can see the entire crowd's behind me just scattered. So I'm in first now, but I'm not entirely happy with that, to be honest, because I mean there's still 1.5 laps left and there's so much drafting still. So as you can see, there are guys pulling up next to me, and we're starting to form some drafting trains here. And you know, it's fine, just buying my time. For the most part, everyone here is being cooperative, everyone's being clean. Just, you know, that's just the nature of pack racing. When you get that very close on a banked angle like that online, yeah, there's bound to be chaos. But as you can see here, we got a guy behind me bump drafting me. Beside me, there's a guy being bump drafted as well. And then we have on the radar, you can see down there, we got a little train of 3 now with me on it. So that's pretty good. See, at this point, I was trying to decide if I want to stay up front or not for this next corner, because although I'd be at the front, I don't know, there's just potential for death and destruction, and I didn't entirely want that. So I was just trying to figure out what I want to do at this point. But as you can see here, we're all kind of slowing down to one giant slipstream train here. And around this point, I decide, you know what, I don't really want to be up front right now. So I turn my turn signal again. I lift off and let some people through. I kind of want to be more towards the back of this pack, and then hopefully I can shoot my way through at the front on the very final corners on the last lap. But anyways, you can see I kind of let people through. I probably lifted off a little too much. I probably let a little too many people through, but c'est la vie. You live and learn. As you can see here now, I'm kind of losing this group up ahead now. But luckily there's some people coming up in front of me, and I joined their train instead. So as we're coming through this, everyone up ahead actually gets through cleanly. So maybe I should have stayed up front, but you know, hindsight's 20/20. And as you can see here, I'm picking up speed. I decide I don't want to go for the full-on send. This guy comes to the inside though, so I have to sweep all the way back around. And I decide I'm going to try to, well, I guess I decide I want to try to pass this guy, but instead I don't have the speed, so I try to bump draft. But he turned off to the side. He wants no part of that. He kind of has my same idea. He doesn't want to get involved in the chaos until closer to the end. So I follow in behind this guy, and unfortunately we're stuck behind a Wyra. And the thing is that the Wyra for this race, the gearing was just terrible on it. It didn't have the top speed under drafting. Like right now we're going about 265 miles an hour, you know, because I'm a good old American, can't use commie units, but we're going about that fast, and the Wyra, I think, if I remember correctly, tops out almost at that speed under drafting. So it's a little problematic that the lead of our train is this Wyra. But I mean, we still got 4 corners, or if you're a NASCAR fan, 4 corners. If you're not, 2 corners left for this lap. So I'm not entirely panicked. As you can see, we're only about a second behind the leader right now. So plenty of time to make up spaces, shoot through the front. Hopefully, again, people kill each other up front too. That's what I'm also betting on. So you can see here how the Wyra is just slowing us down. Like we can't charge up at all because it doesn't have the top speed. But anyways, we're going into the first set of banked corners again. I decide I'm gonna, you know, screw this. I'm gonna try to make my move, see if I can pass the Wyra. But I kind of lift off because we're getting towards the corner and I was on the outside, and that's a little dangerous since I had a person on the inside. But anyways, we're going through. Up ahead, everyone's pretty grouped, spaced out nicely, so seems like everything's going to be okay for them, unfortunately for me, except against a little wobbles, some wobbles there, and a little stable there, but then eventually they do start coming together, and some people do come and start hitting the barrier, and I just barely avoid this guy. He had no idea where to go just because of that. So fortunately I lose out on the group ahead. I'm again on the back foot now, so trying to tuck into this guy's slipstream again, and just got one last long straight before the very end. So as you can see here, I'm catching pretty high. I want to get a little further up the pack, so I decide I'm going to not bump draft him and go ahead and use my momentum to get me up higher. I decide I want to try to pass him, but unfortunately the train's already forming, and I just got locked out of it because you can see it's turning to single file, and I got the Wyra next to me with the slipstream, so I had no choice. So I tried to get in, slot in behind. I'm in 8th, and as you can see, there are the 2 guys ahead who are now separate, and they're going to slot in to the slipstream train. And I try to go past this guy, but as you can see, now I'm just left out to dry because I'm out of the slipstream, and then unfortunately I got a guy beside me, so I can't get back into the train. So I slot in 9th place now, and this is where I have to try to figure out my timing. This is where I need to figure out how am I going to shoot through this little bunch here onto the final corner. So, just biding my time. I'm not too concerned because I'm in the slipstream now. Everyone, as you can see, there's only 7/10 between me and the leader. So, coming to the final corner, I'm trying to decide how am I going to make my move? How am I going to make a move? Am I going to go now? Am I going to go later? And I'm just going to pass the wire again because, as you see, it has no top end on the drafting. So, I don't want to lose this group here. Retake 8th place, getting close. So, I'm at a good distance, I feel, because I can use my momentum to pass all these guys. I play it safe. I go on the inside so I don't get wiped out in the last corner incident. As you can see there, it's getting a little feisty, but I get through the 7th, and I should have gone on the outside because it would have been clear because all these guys here decided to stay on the inside as well. And as you can see, I'm just blocked in. There's nothing I can do. So I want to see if I can pass on the inside, but I can't. I lose some speed there, and from there, there's a guy behind me, and the radar, you can see, they just collect each other, and here's the final run. And again, as you see, the wire there was, if he went on the outside, if I was on the outside, it could have gotten a better spot, but I crossed the line in 7th. Luckily alive. I didn't die in any of those crashes at all, so that was good enough for me. So as you can see there, we're all pretty close together. The top 10, top 9, we're separated by just a second. And then from there, you can see that the rest of the pack, there was a second pack about 10 seconds behind us. And then as from there, you know, they just got separated as they kept dying in all the incidents. And so the results are confirmed, and I got 7th place. And this happened to actually count for my total. I got 172 points. So I decided, you know what, I survived that mess. I'm not going to go again. But anyways, so this is the first of my commentated videos. So if you liked what you saw, you liked this format, go ahead and like and subscribe. Go ahead and give me feedback as well down below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.